when you build a house, you can't really take out what is the return on investment of the plumbing that you did there. But the plumbing certainly does do something. So just keep doing the plumbing and don't look at the decimal point, but do some metrics around it. That's all I have to say.
Good afternoon to all the respected panel members. Myself, Ankit Jain. I am from an academic platform. My question is to Nasreen, ma'am. Like, as you mentioned, ma'am, like what all things are required for building up the capabilities. So you have mentioned like ability to be flexible is one of the things required. Then Pooja ma'am said ability to face failure is required. I would just request you if you can add upon some things because we are on day-to-day basis dealing with the candidates and building up for their upcoming future. So if you can add something upon that, that what additional can be done so that their capabilities can be built upon.
Okay, so you're talking about the ability to
Train the
fail
candidates.
and for candidates
Yes.
that you are
Yes.
basically teaching them for future?
Exactly.
Okay. So I think it's more about creating that environment. I keep going back to games, actually. And I'm sorry for that, but I just feel the future is going in there, so I just keep going back there. Why are games so popular? Why is it moving towards gamification? Tell me, what's the psychology behind it? Can you think what might be?
Psychology is like the students are more attracted towards that.
That's right.
That's
So
how
it's
they
fun.
learn by doing something.
Right, so it's fun.
Yes.
I do it myself. The pace of learning is as I want it. And I can fail. If I fail at one level, I can try again and again. There is no problem for failure.
Yes.
So the way it functions, and there is another, at MasterCard, what they did was, they wanted to change the L&D. So again, they said, doesn't matter, try, allow yourself to fail, but fail fast. And they would encourage, okay, this person made so many attempts and failed, but has done so many attempts at trying something new in this, whatever, in this quarter. So if you're going to promote that, automatically people are going to be okay to fail. And it's not about just failing, it's the learning that comes from the failure. That's what I can think of.
Thank you.
My question is to the panel regarding the ownership of training, being taken by the frontline shop floor people or maybe the functional heads. Now, this has been a challenge all through because we have a KRA system in all organizations. Everybody has to focus on certain key deliverables. So I would like to know from the panelists as to share their experience as to how did they pass on this ownership to the functional heads. Because this has been a challenge for years for HR guys to make the functional heads responsible for capability building.
Definitely not an easy task. I have failed multiple times and still haven't completely been successful. With that caveat, I can attempt. So definitely doesn't happen without the alignment of the top senior managers. That's number one, I feel. Second thing is, what's in it for me? So I feel very much like a salesperson trying to sell, whereas I know that, why it's good, but has to be put it in a way that, it's what's in it for me for the manager. So we have to kind of explain to them again and again and again why they have to do it. To be very honest, my personal experiences is if I have not been able to align them, I have just given up. Because it just cannot be driven without the partnering of the line managers. If we have 100 line managers, even at this date, 50 are really bought in, 50 are really committed, 50 are not. And that's the fact of life. And I have no kind of shame in admitting that. It's a work in progress, but influencing and getting their buy-in is most important. But cannot happen without the support from the top.
So just to respond, I can relate to my experience in IBM, where the business heads carried that scorecard of talent management, trainings, succession planning, and they used to report along with us. There used to be joint talent reviews and monthly meetings where we used to jointly present to the CEO of the organization, right? So ownership was mixed, it was joint, and HR was acting as a facilitator. The second thing which I can relate to is in terms of the program which we have done in Innodata, where we call it Training Intern Certification Program, where HR provides the framework. HR provides how one has to get certified. One has to have the flair, one has to have the aptitude, which is tested out, and then the person goes through a certification process. Once that is done, the person is then free to deliver those programs and is also incentivized to do that. So I would not have increased my training headcount, but I have increased my bandwidth to deliver more and more standardized programs to my larger population. So I think HR still acts as a facilitator, but doesn't own it completely. It is more participative.
I'll talk about my experiences with Lanco. In fact, at Lanco, we have, it's a project-based industry. We are into power projects, and we have 5 businesses. Each CEO, along with me and chairman and the vice chairman, 4 of us will sit down and work out a balanced scorecard for each of the CEOs. And the next level is, after we've done and formed up the balanced scorecard, we'll go to the next level of his direct reports and make them to sit in a room and have a sign up on the spreadsheet of balanced scorecards of each of the functional head as to how they are going to operate and facilitate and achieve the objective. And then it gets further cascaded down to the next level. So this is how we make it implementable. And honestly speaking, we have not come across any difficulty with the CEO per se, because in his balanced scorecard, 95% is quantifiable. It's quantifiable because most of the parameters are relating to safety, quality, finance, cost, and plus timeline, apart from the customer focus. So all these are being interacted and taken care of. I don't see much of a difficulty, but yes, you have to have a regularly review in terms of progress. If you don't review, then the whole purpose of setting up the balance scorecard of KRA is finished. फिर वही होता है क्यों रखें आपको? Yeah.
So formally, can I join your team?
Yeah, please.
But
Please.
I'm just sharing from my experience. Like you're lucky that that's easy for HRs. But I do empathize with all HR people in this room that it is very difficult for us, because it's like, especially coming from a manufacturing organization, it's like you're talking about investment for future when we have no food on the table. So it's like everybody's stressed, everybody has that comes from the short term and the long term. And that's where like the challenge comes. So it's a lot of convincing and buy-in, which is the biggest challenge.
Pooja, just to put the perspective right, there's nothing easy per se. It's only a culture, which kind of culture you set it. I'm saying it start automatically rolling. If you start, even in fact the chairman is believing into that, and he himself is driving the whole perspective, everything fall in place.
No, I agree. Like the top and the bottom are aligned.
Very, very important.
Rest is
Automatically fall in place.
Yes, rest
So nothing is easy per se, but yes, hammering does help, and a lot of patience and perseverance is required. Please, sir.
Human resource when they are mentioned, the word is human. So wherever there are human beings, you have to manage that. So in the huge armed forces that we have, and we are delivering the goods, it's the best example.
Sure.
Unfortunately,
Exactly.
we are keeping the armed forces in the closet and not learning from them. All answers, including gaming, is available. We practice that.
That's true.
We do the
I'm
war
sure,
gaming.
I'm sure. It's a
And it's quantified. Our promotions are based on that. We have courses after courses which trains us at different levels for Jawans, for officers.
sure.
Here I feel the HR has become a vertical in management somehow. It's not a vertical. It's not a vertical. Even the marketing people, they have to manage their own HR people. His team has to be managed by him because there are marketing facets which only he will know and not the HR person. Rightly brought out by ma'am that yes, we are not trained. We allow them to go to the ground to train. That's the important part. So I think the management, we need to change this vertical as HR.
Yeah.
We've given it a lot of dimension. And since this HR, so it's managing complete management, this thing, because they're distributing their pay or their leave or their joining or this thing. So I think the whole methodology thing, facts brought out, absolutely correct, what you all have discussed. But I feel this doesn't come purely as an HR. And therefore, like from what we are doing already in the armed forces, we are managing people to their death,
Yeah.
not for money. I'm prepared to die. How? Why? So that's the level of management.
Sure.
That's the level of leadership. And that comes by owning. So we have got a whole structure which boils down to regiments and units. And we take pride in our unit. And the whole result is my unit should not fail.
Yeah.
Now I train at section level, platoon level, company level, and combine each other so that the unit can perform and deliver.
It's alignment.
So that's the way it goes. So that is, I just thought I will bring
Sure.
this.
Thanks for your suggestion. With this, we come to the end of this session. And thanks for all the patience hearings. And would like to also thank DMA management, sponsors, participants, and the co-panelists for the wonderful support which they have extended. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ekta. Really wonderful job. Good.
Now, we would like to present mementos to all the dignitaries as a token of appreciation.
I would like to invite Mr. Sandeep Joshi from JCB India Limited to present memento to Mr. Deepak Bharara, Chief HR Officer, Lanco Infratech Limited.
Now, I would like to invite Professor Monica Saxena from IBA to present mementos to Ms. Pooja Malik, Vice President HR, Anand Automotive Limited.
I would like to invite Mr. Suresh Jain, Advisor HR, Surya Roshni Limited, to present memento to Ms. Nasreen Khan, Director, Catalyst India.
Now, I would like to invite Ms. Priya from Center Warehousing Corporation to present memento to Mr. Ajay Bhatia, Vice President HR, Innodata.
With this, we have come to the end of the second session of the 8th Mega HR Conclave. Now, thank you everyone. I would request you to join for lunch at the dining area, and we resume with the third session after lunch at 2:30 p.m. sharp. Thank you.